Okay, this is something I did a couple years ago on my page Legal Reform. So I hope you can understand why you need to look up, read, and understand what you should know before talking to any lawyer, before standing in front of every judge. What courtroom you're in doesn't matter. The rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct are the laws within every court of law. You should make copies and take them with you so you will have a fair trial, quick and speedy trial, effective assistance of counsel. Your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is contingent on knowing what due process is. The letter of the law requires they follow through word for word to the letter. This is the only way you can make the rule of law happen in a court of law. Do my best to simplify the process, if you know what I mean. So I made some memes. Much to learn about. Much to learn, much to know. Stop by Legal Reform for very useful information. We're here to serve we the people with much love and respect for every one of you. So if I tell the judge to cite my lawyer for ineffective assistance of counsel, my lawyer loses their license. Yes, the judge is supposed to make sure every lawyer abides by the rules of professional conduct. The Sixth Amendment guarantees you the right to effective assistance of counsel. What if the judge doesn't report my lawyer for ineffective assistance of counsel? Reporting misconduct is mandatory according to the Code of Judicial Conduct, as well as the rules of professional conduct. What happens to the lawyer on the other side? Do they win? No, they're supposed to report your lawyer and the judge. Failure to report misconduct is misconduct. But nobody abides by the rules of professional conduct or the Code of Judicial Conduct. That's why the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't abide by the Code of Judicial Conduct. Or that's why the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't have to abide by the Code of Judicial Conduct. They don't have a Code of Judicial Conduct. And that's basically to set up the framework for that way, public servants can appeal the case to the U.S. Supreme Court. And as you well know, how they react towards the law. Remember, what they do, they may not have a code of conduct, but they do have the oath, and nobody can violate the oath. That's against the law. Mandatory fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. So judges granted the U.S. Supreme Court qualified immunity. Yes, exactly. That's why they don't have to remove any judge from the bench. By the way, qualified immunity was quashed by establishing the rule of law. Wow, imagine if everybody walked into court, told a judge to do their job, cite all the violations of the rules of professional conduct. Every lawyer would have to cite every judge for violating the Code of Judicial Conduct. It would be like going to the Super Bowl and the other team didn't show up. A huge win for your team because the other team was disqualified for cheating. Okay, I hope I made that brief and simple. I do my best, some people say I simplify the law. I just read it to you, or I tell you basically what you could use and say. Okay, I'm not simplifying. When it comes to the law, I have a vast tendency to quote it. Some of the things I write, I've been told I plagiarize. I don't plagiarize. I pay homage. Paying homage to the creators. Okay, but there you go. Okay, you can just put it on mute and read it yourself if you want, but that's pretty much it. Okay? wanting nothing but a long life and good health for each and every one of you. May your Creator always be with you, nothing but many blessings. May it rain blessings. Good night and good viewing.